So I'm kneeling down, I'm painting, I'm doing my own thing in my own world, and this man turned up and says, "Excuse me, do you have permission to do this?" So I was like, halfway through painting, turned up, I said, "Yes, I do." And then he says, "You know, that's vandalism." So I was like, "Thank you very much." I got involved in graffiti in the 90s, mid-90s in France with my friends. It was much more underground than it is today. Well, my family, to begin with, did not really know what we were doing. It was much more of a secret than it is today, to be honest. But eventually, of course, we get not busted, but more or less they knew what we were doing. So a bit of encouragement for the art side of it, but a bit of a telling off for being out too late at night, maybe. With people, there still thinks that anybody that's using spray paint to paint an image on the wall is a vandal, you know, or is doing something that it should not be doing. I think it's a lot of the time is ignorance. If I was painting the exact same image but with paintbrushes, they would maybe look at it in a different way, but the image remains the same. I use spray paint because that's what I've always done since I was a teenager. I've never been to art school, I was never taught to use paintbrushes or anything like that. I'm still paper and pencil kind of guy. I don't use computer, but I'll have my sketch on a piece of paper most of the time. It's planned out. These are a couple of sketches. I've got a project coming up soon with Nine Wells Hospital, so it's making a bit of a mixture between anatomy drawing and the graffiti side of things. This is my material, this is my tools, yeah. This is my spray paint, so yeah, I try. It's almost impossible, but I do try to keep it color coordinated. These ones I have here, they're more when it's terrible, when it's proper Scottish weather outside and I cannot paint on a wall and I've got some spare time, then yeah, maybe grab a canvas and I enjoy painting an image on it. The one in Slasher Garden with the NHS was a great commission. They wanted to make some noise about World AIDS Day. They wanted people to awareness about AIDS, basically, HIV. We had to have the red ribbon, and originally they wanted NHS and HIV somewhere, U equals U, and a few bits and pieces like that onto the mural, but that was about it. I'm not just going to do a red ribbon and walk away. We could do it a bit more interesting. And again, she says, "Well, what would you do?" And I said, "Well, I'm a graffiti artist, so what would I do? I'd paint my piece, basically. I'd paint my piece of writing." Well, I paint a lot of kingfishers. It's almost becoming a bit of a trademark, I think. Instead of painting water and stuff, I wanted to make him come out of a piece of writing, basically. So I draw this knowing, I've got it in my head, that's the thing. You know, I need to construct something on the paper, but a lot of it is already in my head. And yet, once I'm onto the wall, sometimes it changes. Scotland is great for Scotland is a beautiful country. The landscape and the wildlife is always inspiring. I started to mix animals, birds, wildlife with pieces of graffiti, street, urban art because I love wildlife. Very much birds for their colors. I find them amazing. I think today, compared to when I started in France in the 90s, today graffiti art and street art is much more accepted in the community, and like, you just need to see in Glasgow the huge murals that have been painted, you know. When a young person is gonna say, this is not graffiti, this is not street art because you're being paid for it, or because you're authorized to paint that wall, or because it's a legal spot. It's 2020, it's not 1990 when I started anymore. I respect what they do, they should respect what everybody else is doing as well, you know?